Hello, welcome back to Night Cheese Book Club.
With you today is Presley.
And Suzanne, the sisters you love to hear from.
I thought you were going to say love to hate, and I was like, who hates us? And
Everyone.
why?
You know why.
Well,
So, welcome back to episode 3 of season 1. Night Cheese Book Club. You're having a great time. We're having a great time. Since last we spoke, I have been doing so much gardening.
Yeah, because it's springtime. It sure is.
Yeah.
It's getting warmer, which is great because I'm not in a trailer, but if I was, it would be very hot in here.
It would be incredibly hot in here. Stagnant, one might say.
Yeah, just litter particles in the air. But that's okay, because it probably holds me together like glue.
Right.
And
Like
I like
glue
that.
and cats.
Yeah. Oh no.
So, what have you been doing?
I've been battling at work just because I do work night shift, but I'm looking to not work night shift, even though they're like, you have to work night shift. And I'm like, no. It's just really that thing of like, I don't want to fight over something I don't really care about. So either just, do what I want and it all works out. So it is all working out anyway. And like, I don't mind, like, my job's all right. So
Once they have their claws in you for night shift, they do not want to let go.
They tried. They're like, oh, you can stay awake all night? Yeah, barely.
No one wants to do it. It's terrible. Well, there is a select group of people
Yes.
who can only do night shift. And that's great for them. Somebody's got to do it.
And it's good. I like it. And like, I
It's
love
chill.
my coworker, Kelly. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
But other than that, my rhythm is not doing well. So
My night shift friends, don't be offended that I'm not shouting out to you.
yeah. Well, I'm choosing
It's
me.
too many.
Anyway. But yes, that's
It's
why
just you and Kelly.
works about it. I can't think that and reading.
Yeah, always reading.
Always reading.
Audiobooks are your friend.
They sure are. And regular books.
So, that brings us in to our book today, which is going to be The Hollow Places by T. Kingfisher.
Which she's also known as Ursula Vernon with her children's books, but T. Kingfisher with her adult books.
I love that. I love a pseudonym.
Oh, so do I.
I love people who split it up for what, grade they're writing for.
Love it.
Love it. And she is also an artist and an illustrator, which is freaking awesome. Her art is super cool.
Yeah, I
Does she do her own covers, I wonder?
I'm not
I should
sure,
look that up.
but I did listen to a podcast she was on. You know what she also loves? Gardening.
Listen, not to, what are they calling it this summer? A grandma granola summer.
Yeah, that sounds
gardening is the best thing. Watching a plant grow will make your soul sing. And I couldn't recommend it higher. That's an understatement, really. Do it.
Instead of them scarily singing at you like in a certain Disney movie.
Right. I mean, even that, if that's your bag.
I don't know, that part scared me. But yeah, I guess if you're into that. But yeah, Hollow Places, published, it was October 2020, so it's not that old, but it's not that new. But
I think she does mention COVID in it.
I don't think so.
Doesn't she?
Maybe.
I can't remember. Somebody does in something. That's
Yeah,
the
I
biggest
read
thing I've
something
ever
recently
said.
where they mentioned COVID, and I was like, ugh.
I like when it's casually mentioned in a book.
I guess, but I also am like,
I am excited for 50 years from now when a child is like, what does that mean? I saw a frickin', oh my gosh, there was, a YouTube short today where somebody was pointing out mysterious parts of Taylor Swift lyrics, and most of them were pretty poignant, and I really liked them, but one of them chose to put in all the king's horses, all the king's men, and then they said, that's actually from a nursery rhyme.
Oh, well,
What?
found her out.
Oh my god. And I just think the children of today, are you not being read nursery rhymes?
You know what? You go sign up to be a detective because we found your calling.
Oh my, I'm gonna just be...
And that's how you know, like, when you're hitting a certain age, when children are like, yeah, I found this new thing, and I'm like, well,
I
nothing's
think it's a
nothing's
secret
new.
Easter egg.
Nothing's new, especially not for you either. You're at a place in human history where nothing is new now.
Nothing's ever new.
You
And
gotta-
that's okay. That's that tried and true statement. Good art is great. Great art is stolen. And
Yes.
it's so true. I mean,
So true.
don't even sweat it. You just have to, like, put your own spin on it, and then it is new for the most part. It's fine.
I think that
Just
can
do it good, and then it's fine.
that can swing us back to this book where we'll talk about the summary real quick because that reminds me of like a takeaway I got from this. But the summary being this young woman, Kara, finds a strange portal in her uncle's like museum of oddities, known affectionately to her family and friends as Carrot, which I quite like. That's adorable. And then this portal kind of ends up leading to another world, and it's inhabited by willow trees, and they seem either indifferent or indignant towards humans. So it's really interesting. What I found interesting about this, and what I mean by inspired by other things, was it's inspired by The Willows by Algernon Blackwood.
Blackwood.
Blackwood?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, apostrophe, yes. Algernon Blackwoods. I wrote it down in case I didn't. But who doesn't like the name Algernon?
I think he is the one who wrote the Wendigo story.
Yes, he is. That's apparently his most famous one. But like The Willows is like what
She
Lovecraft
expounded
was
upon.
creaming his pants over.
You can definitely tell that if you have read the Wendigo, that this has got a similar kind of like eeriness. It definitely has a Lovecraft feel without anything untoward.
Yeah. But I like that it was inspired by it, and it seems more like a sequel to it, which is interesting.
And maybe even like a modern take.
Yeah, and like we said, like it's just good to like build off of these other things of like, because nothing's new, and it's just like, expanding things, and like, it's got like the same kind of stuff in like the otter and stuff.
What is more exciting also as a reader when you get these like little Easter egg tie-ins? That is so, you love it. You feel like you just won a prize for reading, that you got an A on your homework. I love between Stephen King and Joe Hill that they'll mention each other's worlds a little bit, and it's just like, good on ya.
But something that I quite liked, Simon. I thought that it was a really fun character.
What I was going to add in those parts so that you know who Simon is. So, Kara, the main character, is recently divorced. So, I love the position that puts her in, and that's why she's there helping out. And next to the oddity shop is a coffee shop where Simon is this like over it aging punk barista.
Yeah, and like
He's fabulous.
a lot of people seemed like his personality was too over the top, and it was too over the top, like gay in your face, blah blah blah. But I didn't take that from it. I think I guess it depends on what you notice from things, or if things seem forced or whatever, but like his character didn't seem forced to me. And like maybe it's the company I also keep, or my personality, where like I'm like, that all seemed very normal, like how you're in a strange world and he's talking about like fishnets and anal and whatever. Like that didn't seem that out of place to me, but I think we all live different lives. So
Your mother's never made a pearl necklace joke in a dress barn, and it shows.
yeah, like
I'm sorry for you.
Yeah, like I just wasn't that fazed by his personality. In fact, I quite liked it, and it probably is why I have the friends that I have and why I am the person that I am, because that just seemed more fun to me, especially if you're in a strange world. You're just making small talk to like it keeps the scaries away.
That is, yes, this book is like, I mean, it's not super short, but it's also not super long. But like the ability that she has to build out a, a dimensional character.
Yes.
That, like we said, sorry if you think he's over the top, but these all seem like real people with real thoughts, and that if you are stuck in situations, you're gonna have small talk, even if it's a weird situation.
And I think that, yeah, like normal people do have small talk in those situations, because if you didn't, it would just be more scary.
It would be.
Which I quite liked as well, just because it seemed like such a placid environment, yet something was so eerie about it. I mean, maybe that's what made it eerie.
Definitely added to it.
Yeah, like it was scary. The school bus thing was scary. Then again, like, obviously school buses are scary because of social anxiety in children. And
it's also distant to me.
That's true. Well,
it's another dimension.
I was behind a school bus the other day, and a child was staring at me, and I was just like, look away. Yeah. I just remember being on the school bus and them all being like, look at this lady, and they're all laughing and making fun, and I looked over and it was my grandmother wearing the glasses that she took from my uncle, who he got from the army.
Government issued glasses.
I think known as
half-inch thick
Mrs. Munger glasses, and her hair was wild, and I can see why they were laughing, but I was all like, shut up.
It's not the first time that a school bus full of children made fun of her.
And it won't be the last. And it won't be the last for any of us, really, because they're mean, and...
Oh, kids are so mean.
Man, they get you.
But they're so easy to trick. So, remember that.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. And who cares what they think? I also like this book because, those books where you're reading it and that, like, people say things, and even though you're listening to it, you're like nodding and you're like, yeah.
Definitely.
And like nobody else can hear it, so they have no idea what you're nodding at. I did that a lot with this book. Granted, I also had a note of a lot of the things, it did seem like a little bit repetitive in some places. Like using the same like phrases and stuff. But that didn't turn me off too much. It just, I just really enjoyed it, and like, it's weird. It's not overly scary, but it is weird, and I like that.
Yes, that's definitely, it is such a good blend of horror and sci-fi, where a lot of people don't get that right, but this was done in a way where it was engaging and moved through plot quickly, which is always appreciated.
Definitely palatable.
Unless you're very into high fantasy, which I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, good on you.
Maybe one day we'll get into that.
Yeah, I'll get there. But yeah, I definitely, and I liked all the characters. Like, I thought Carrot was really a good character. I really liked Carrot, and like, I think that's part of why I like this book. I liked Uncle Earl. I liked all of it. Like, I just thought the characters were like people who I really like, and I guess that maybe that's why I liked it too. They just felt very relatable to me.
I liked also that a lot of the items in the museum, like the actual oddities, sometimes would behave in strange ways, and she touched on it a little bit without being explicit, but just going into like animism and the souls of items and things and plants, I think is such like a pertinent topic and just interesting anyway. But to think that you're crossing these dimensions and that the weird taxidermy in the museum is somehow watching over you and also kind of participating in your journeys.
It's cool.
It's cool.
So
love it.
I remember when she goes into this like other dimension or whatever, they have the choice of exploring or going back because they're not sure if if you get stuck or whatever. I think that's the problem with a lot of people exploring these places. What would you do?
I would go. I think that anyone who knows me would know that I would go. Even if I was terrified.
These people don't know you. They don't know you like I know you.
Number one, I could be talked into many things.
That's so true.
I just want to be included.
One person just has to say, come on, death or glory, and I'll agree.
Well, in this book, definitely, I don't know how many of you are into Narnia, but this book definitely has a magician's nephew feel to it, and especially those moments where you think, do we go back to safety, or do we go on to adventure?
Do we do
Sorry, there's a cat in the frame if you're watching this on YouTube.
Come on, Alice.
You know, people joked that this was bound to happen, where cats get in the way of podcasting.
We'll censor that
It's
part.
worth it. They're fine. They're precious, and we should do whatever we can for them. So, yes, Magician's Nephew. I think because I was so into books like that when I was younger, it is so ingrained into my DNA to be like, even though I am this book person, to be like, let's go on an adventure. So I would always say yes to adventure, and I would bet 99.9% you would too.
No,
100%.
I absolutely would, just because, like, one, you go and it's cool adventure. Two, do I have to go to work that day? No.
Yes. You get trapped in an alternate dimension, and you don't have to ever go to work again.
I'll do it. Whatever.
Yeah. What have you to lose?
Great.
Well,
so then I also got to thinking, what are the scariest trees? You gotta...
hey.
I was thinking, so, like, willows are pretty scary.
Willows are scary.
But, like...
In a romantic way.
A large maple? Ominous.
What's it called? I mean, they're just magical in general, but live oaks in the south, the big ones that go into the ground and stuff, there. And just, you know, some, like, raggedy old swamp trees.
Yeah.
Always spooky. There's so many trees. Again, the unsung heroes. Let your soul sing. Hug a tree.
They're really
though.
They're
trees
doing
need
the
it.
work. And then I also was like, so it's one of those things where, like, since, you know, they are going into this place, like, what's one item you would bring with you into this alternate dimension? Because, like, we're going to be doing an episode on Fairy Tale, which is also like a portal kind of a, but, like, you know, because he was like, what item do I bring? And I really like that too, of like, if you could bring one item.
I don't know. I would think maybe like a knife.
A knife's probably a good idea.
Or some kind of taser. Just in case.
Can you imagine these, like, willow, like, elder gods, and you're trying to tase them?
But what if a taser takes one out and then you take over?
I think it would slap you around with its willow leaves.
Or you make an example of somebody.
Nah, you'd feel embarrassed.
We'll see when I tase somebody.
Willow whipped.
Or tase king.
Or, yes, or you become their king.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as the alternate dimensions, for me, I really like the escapism of it, which, as a Pisces, of course, any kind of escapism.
That makes sense.
Plus, the world today, escapism. I want my books to be something that I truly can be transported to this alternate world, which was definitely the case with this one.
Yeah, which I like, because I feel like I saw a lot of reviews too that were like, why didn't they go more into detail about things about, and I'm like, I don't think it needed it.
I don't think it needed it either. I think that the ideas that it explored in this alternate dimension definitely were big enough that it didn't need more explanation.
Yeah, like, I felt okay about it, and, like, I wasn't like, I want to know more. Like, I'd be fine with, like, another story of it, like, maybe going into things, but, like, I thought this had just enough, and, like, it kept me interested.
Truly, if there was more, it would have been too much.
Yes,
like, this book is a good length. I think it's like 350 maybe.
That's what they would have said. They would have
325-ish.
If it went into it more, they would have been like, this is too long.
Literally, they would have been like, this is boring. The descriptions bore me. And just like, you don't need the descriptions. The themes are enough.
What do you people want?
And there's enough here that you can build off of your imagination.
Yeah, like
if you have one. Ooh, hot take. Oh, the sound's not up. Okay. And now there's a bird clock.
Or a real bird.
Or a real bird.
You'll never know. It's a bird clock.
Is it a mourning dove in the Not trailer?
Yes. That would be weird.
The other thing that I thought was an interesting
An
interesting aspect to this other dimension was that some of the beings here, they start to perceive that that the beings there are able to read their thoughts and feel their fear, which is such an interesting concept because I hate that this is what it made me want to liken it to, but in Twilight, I never finished the movie series, so I don't know if it's in the movies, but in the books, when when Bella and Edward are getting married, or something, I think it's something about the wedding, when Alice is trying to hide her thoughts, she starts thinking the Battle Hymn of the Republic. So my question to you is, if you were attempting to hide your fear and thoughts, what thing would you think? What would be your go-to?
Oh, like how in the book where she keeps thinking, what is it, the macaroni?
Yeah. So you can't take that one.
I guess it would be more of, what song was stuck in my head the other day? I don't know. I love a show tune, so that's probably where I'd be headed, and like, all that jazz gets stuck in there a lot. And also
it could be Boisterous. That's a good choice.
And it cheers me up. So I think it's a good one to march forward with, just because it'll get the scaries away.
It's
but
a good choice.
I also could have a conversation in my head between me and the Willows about what I would say to them if we got in an argument, and how I'd be right and how they're rude and not me, because I've never done anything wrong in my life.
That is a solid point to circle back to night shift. If you need to keep yourself awake, I suggest call a loved one and start a fight.
Yeah.
Really. Nothing will jazz you up and be distracting.
Yeah.
Like picking a petty argument.
Yeah. I like how we almost never have petty arguments, so we wouldn't know, but I could see how that would really...
When we're tired, the problem is that our arguments are over incredibly quickly.
Yeah, I process things too fast to,
Don't apologize. That's a good thing. Everyone else get on board.
Yeah, better yourselves.
Yeah. Therapy.
Yeah, if that's
Therapy
what it is,
for all.
or it's just my trauma way of dealing with it. What would you use?
I think I would try to think through, like, movies that I really like. I would go to stuff like that, or just, not to make it all about plants, but plants, really. I think that songs are a good choice. Taylor Swift, always. Oh my god, that scene in The Magicians when Penny reads Quentin's thoughts and he's listening to Taylor Swift.
That would be a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll keep it out.
And, engraved into my soul, so it would
That's
be
true.
an easy go-to.
Who of us don't know the lyrics to every single song?
She is the voice of our generation.
To you? Yeah, to me too.
To all.
Yeah.
To all women.
Yeah. But it's just so good.
It's just so good. Genius. So, next segment is our haiku and cheese pairing. Magic.
Yeah,
All right.
magic.
I'm
Poems.
gonna also have you go first.
Again?
Yeah. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. My haiku. Wall hole, strange places. You enter if you dare, but can you get back home?
Ooh.
And the cheese that I would pair this book with. I picked a Stilton with apricot in it. Apricot? Dealer's choice. I promise that I will stop picking blue cheeses, which is a lie. But I think that it really sums up the duality in this book between, horror and sci-fi. It's engaging. Most people would like it, but it's not for everyone. I like it. I just love blue cheese.
I get that. Absolutely. That's actually funny because, and I'm gonna flip it around this time. No, this isn't my poem. I haven't started.
Oh.
I was gonna say I also picked Blue Cheese because I wrote that it's funky and weird, and you kind of have to like it to appreciate it. But to some, it's a classic. So that's funny that we both picked that for this book because I could definitely see it. It's a good pairing. Now cue the music because now I'm ready for my poem. Except I feel like my poem's
button happy.
my poem's a little more lowbrow, but that's all right. Willow's rude as hell. Pay attention to the odd. Carrot finds her strength.
Oh, I love that.
It's
Carrot finds her strength. It's a good line.
Yeah, which I loved out of this book because, like she said, even like with divorce and stuff, like it's such an opportunity to grow as a person once you've kind of now you have like yourself to focus on and deal with and really can grow.
Yeah, definitely. It is a huge opportunity after the end of any kind of like big relationship in your life. Whether it's a real relationship between people or that you move or job stuff, like it's always an opportunity to grow and like really look at where you're coming from and like reconnect with yourself. It's so easy to lose who you are in the day-to-day like mundane world.
Definitely. And like I think we're either in there, we've been there, we're going there, but it's just such a good lesson to learn and stuff like that because I have definitely learned quite a bit from that, and that's also probably why I like this too, just because it's a good female character of, you know, somebody who's dropped in this weird place, but she uses it as an opportunity to really like find her true grit.
Yeah, I definitely like that. That kind of, not that end part so much, but that ties into our ending, which is grazie and goodbye. I would say that the thing that I'm thankful for is that I have stopped killing myself at work to take more time to do things that I love. So that is definitely focusing more on, I mean, number one thing is books, reading, writing, which is just soul fulfilling. Why do I keep talking about souls?
But it's true though, like where you find your passion, because I think it's you get so ingrained in the day-to-day, especially these places where you're just working this 9 to 5, and it's like you have to step back and be like, does this place care about me like I care about it? Like, where am I putting my effort? Where am I putting my life, really? Because like you're giving them a lot, and I get that a paycheck obviously is very important. We all got to pay our bills, but like you're giving them your time and like yourself. That's so important.
The thing that is the most valuable is your time. And I know that that is hard to believe when you're living paycheck to paycheck and you can get jobs that pay you shit and treat you like shit. But your time is the only thing that you can't have more of, which is what makes it the most important.
We would know. Like, so that's
we would know as ghosts from another dimension.
I think
coming back to tell you that
it's hard like hearing it from people who like have a lot and then they're like, this is what's important, but like, you know, it is important. Like, time is the most important thing you can have. Speaking of money, I was gonna say, and I didn't mean to not wear sleeves today for such reasons, but excuse me. I was gonna say I'm very grateful for tattoos.
You're
I think
so good looking. Sorry to make a Seinfeld reference. I haven't gotten to that one.
No, I did. With the sneeze and then yeah. I get it. I'm there. That's my eating show right now. Anyway, I'm
Jane the Virgin's mine.
Good choice. I'm very grateful for tattoos. I like them. I think they're cool. I think it's like beautiful art. I think that, I don't know, like I love getting them. I love meeting tattoo artists. I feel like I have such a good time when I go places and I meet these people and stuff, like that it's usually good conversation. I have a good time. I get this cool piece of art and like it's just such a good way to express oneself. And I don't know. It's just I'm very grateful for the opportunity to even get them, just because like they are expensive and stuff. So like I feel grateful that it's a big part of like what I can do.
It is a really cool luxury.
Yes.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of our show today.
Definitely
Oh
leave.
no, I tried to keep ums to a minimum.
Well,
Like and subscribe. I don't know how that applies to podcasts, but do it.
I think you can. You can leave a review or whatever, leave a comment, anything like that. We're interested.
We are definitely interested. As always, we would like to hear your haikus.
Yeah, or your opinion on these books and stuff. Yeah, have a little conversation.
Definitely. What alternate dimension do you like?
Or even what books that you guys would like to hear in the future. We've got a bit of a schedule written out, but
We changed up our lineup a little bit. This is not Addie LaRue, if you haven't noticed.
yeah, if you were paying attention.
But we
Sorry.
solidified our plan for the rest of this season. So next week, join us for Such Sharp Teeth and Bad Dolls, both by Rachel Harrison.
It's going to
my
be a
God.
fun one.
Goals.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
It's going to be a
Amazing.
good episode, so definitely tune in for that.
And our theme for that is female friendships.
Mm.
So tune in, and we will see you next time.
Bye.